Today, I'm going to show you how to fix this crack in a ceiling with a super cool trick that'll make this crack never come back. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a piece of furring strip, which is a 1x3 piece of wood. I'm just going to cut a slit and slide it in there, and I'm going to show you how I do the whole process. First, I'm going to measure out how long this crack is, which is about 15 inches. So I'm going to cut a furring strip 15 inches, and it's going to go the span of the crack in the direction of the two arrows. So first thing I got to do is cut the furring strip. Going to mark it at 15 inches. Doesn't have to be perfect, and just cut it. You don't need a perfectly straight line because it's going up in the ceiling. So I'm going to take my pencil and just kind of trace out how wide the furring strip is and also how thick. I'm going to just mark it and just kind of sketch a couple lines to make sure I can cut it. Then I'm going to take a keyhole saw, which is a drywall saw, and just cut it out. You want to go kind of shallow when you're cutting. You don't want to use all the blades because you never know what's above the ceiling. There could be a wire or a cable. There shouldn't be something sitting on the ceiling, but you never know. So I always try and be careful. Got some blown insulation in there. I'm going to scoot all that back so the piece of furring strip can lay flat on the back side of the drywall right above the whole crack. I'm just going to slide it in, just kind of place it, get some more of that insulation back. Then once I get it to where I need it to be, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a screw right in the middle of it. That helps me hold it while I'm screwing the other pieces around the crack to that furring strip. Otherwise, that's just going to lift. See how it lifted right there? It helps to have that screw in the middle, and then we'll remove it once we get these 4 screws in. I'm going on each side of the crack. And then I'm going to attach on each side of the crack. These are 1¼ inch drywall screws, coarse thread. Like I said, I'm just going to go ahead and put a good amount of screws down each side of the crack. This is going to keep it from moving when it's screwed into this furring strip. Someone stepped down on the ceiling from the attic. That's why there's a crack. But this also works if you have a cracked tape joint somewhere on your ceiling as well. Now I'm going to put the piece I cut out right back in so it's a perfect cut. And you don't even need a new piece of drywall or anything. If you're a homeowner needing to fix a crack, you can put what you cut out right back in. Now I'm going to put 4 screws in this piece as well. Some people will say that's a lot of screws, but trust me, I know what I'm doing, and you don't want that crack moving around or it's going to crack again. Never had a problem doing that before. I'm going to scrape back the popcorn a little bit just so the fiberglass mesh tape sits nice and flat, and I'll also be able to get a nice pull when I do the mud work. All right, what I'm going to use is my stud finder to find the trusses on each side since the step through was in the middle. All right, there's one of the trusses. Get a screw in there. I love this zircon stud finder. It really helps find the studs on this popcorn ceiling. Since it's been painted, it's super hard. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and skim coat this whole ceiling after I do this repair, because it's a painted popcorn ceiling and it will not scrape off. I'm going to put the fiberglass mesh tape over the crack. I'm going to make sure it's stuck really good and really flat just by running my hand over it. Then I'm just going to tape off these 2 little areas where I did the cutout, and it'll be ready for the mud work. When you use fiberglass mesh tape, you always want to use a setting type compound, which is a powder form that you mix to a joint compound. Very important, or it's not going to have a good result. I'm going to use this 5-minute mud. It does come in smaller bags and also comes in 20-minute, 45-minute, and 90-minute. But this 5-minute just going to let me be able to keep working, and it's going to be dry in like 5-10 minutes. It's kind of like baking a cake. You want to get all the lumps out. You don't want to start out with too much water. You just want to have enough to get going, and then you can add more. If you put too much water in, you're going to have to keep adding powder, and it just becomes a mess. So basically, you're just going to go ahead and just kind of squish it out on the sides and let the water soak in. It doesn't have to be like super thin. You want it a little thick on this first coat. Not too thick, but not too thin. You want it to be good and solid and hard when you put it over that crack, so that crack don't come back. So I'm just going to keep mixing. Normally you want to wait a minute after you get it pretty mixed up with the 20, 45, or 90, but this 5-minute, you have no time to waste. Once you get it where you need it, you need to go and get it up on your repair. It's a little thick. I'm going to add just a little bit more water just to thin it out just a little bit more, not much water at all. Get all the lumps out, get all the powder mixed in, and this stuff is super strong. Always use it with the fiberglass mesh. I'm going to get the 5-minute mud up on the ceiling repair, and then I'm going to smooth it all out. You want to pull it pretty tight. You don't want a big hump or anything, even though I'm going to be skim coating this. If you're not going to be skim coating, you just want to treat it like a drywall tape joint and just do 2 coats of mud over it. And you might need a 3rd touch-up coat after that. Then sand, prime, and paint. I have plenty of videos where I match texture or do a smooth finish as well. As you can see, I got a nice tight pull on the repair and also filled the screw holes that were on the 2 trusses on each side of the crack. I'm getting ready to skim coat. I'm going to put that in another video, and stay tuned for that. And also let me know what kind of drywall project you're working on. And if you want to catch the next video or any of my upcoming videos, be sure to hit that subscribe button now in the center of the screen to keep up with all my videos. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. I'll leave some of my most popular video links down below in the description. Thanks so much for watching.